Hey guys, so I'm out here today north of Lusk, and I'm at Mrs. Williams, Lisa Williams Ranch. Um, it's on the far eastern side of the state of Wyoming. The Nebraska border is just that way, a few miles, but it's out here in these open plains with kind of broken hills, some pine trees here and there, but a lot of open rolling meadows and plains for cattle ranching. She's going to take us around the ranch today and show us around. Mrs. Williams is the third grade teacher and also the lead teacher for the elementary school. So many of you know who she is, but I'm just waiting for her to show up, and then she's going to take us all around and we'll talk to her about what life on a really big ranch is like.
So we're working some longhorn cross calves that are from our heifers, and they were just born probably May into June, so they're pretty young. They're getting their first shot. We have to give them a shot at branding, and then we give them a second shot 6 weeks before they ship. So these calves have been sold, and they have an 8 brand, which is just unique to our heifers calves. And you'll see the men here giving shots, and then anything that's not branded yet, they will brand today and cut. And if they have pink eye, they'll be doctoring them. So there's a lot going on today.
Hello, good to meet you.
Bo Simmons.
How many calves are in there?
There's a total of 700 calves here today, and they'll probably work all of them.
Wow.
They doctored all the mothers yesterday. We're fighting pink eye right now, and I think they said they doctored 70 cows yesterday.
Wow. Tell them how many acres on the ranch and how many cows.
So the ranch has about 160,000 acres, and that is our deeded BLM state, as well as 40,000 that's leased. And this year we calved out 3,500 cows and heifers. And we run about 250 bulls with those.
Talk loud. Tell me about the eye patches.
So when they have pink eye, they cover it with a denim eye patch so that it stops anything from irritating it and hopefully keeps them from going blind.
And there's a cat. So, how are they getting pink eye?
If you check out away from the pasture, we have had a lot of rain this year, so the grass is really tall, and there's some arrowhead grass, and when they go to eat the green grass, their eye gets poked with the tall grass, and that irritation starts it, and then it's very highly contagious. If the mom has it, the calf gets it, so it spreads pretty quickly.
So they glue that eye patch. It's a piece of cloth or denim. They said, Lisa said her husband cut off his shirt sleeves the other day because they'd run out of material, but they glue it right above the eye while the eye is healing. And then once it heals, they can take it off. All right, so tell me your names.
I'm Clayton Williams. Wayne Prince.
Okay, and you're Lisa's son, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what it's like growing up on a ranch out here.
At times it can be kind of loud, but it teaches you work ethic and the necessary personality traits to become a successful business person in whatever field you would choose.
Really teaches you how to stick with something until you get the results you're after, no matter what you're doing.
You got to work hard at it and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. So what's a typical summer day as far as hours like? No sleeping in, I suppose.
No, there's no sleeping in.
Depends if anything. It depends if anything goes wrong. If something goes wrong, you can have a pretty long day. During the heat of the summer, when it gets hot, we'll wake up 3 o'clock most mornings. Get out and start gathering cows by 5, and that way you're done midday to where you can beat the heat and you don't get heat stroking. But another reason we go early is because the cows are still with their calves. After a while, 6 or 7 in the morning, the cows will leave to go to water.
Okay.
And they move a lot better if they're paired up still.
So when they go to water, they'll leave the calves behind?
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll lay the calves
Lay 'em
down, come back to them once they're filled up with water. They might go eat some too.
Okay. What are you doing the rest of the day?
Working
Yeah.
or napping.
You usually go home and take a good, decent-sized nap because it'll wear you out. But then you go back out in the afternoon and the evening, and there's fence to fix and water to check.
Horses to get in for the next day.
Gather.
Okay. Okay. What time you wrap up in the evening?
Depends. Usually, as much light as you have, you try and use as much light as you got. So we'll go in. Sometimes we get to go in early, like 6 or 7, but sometimes we go in 8-ish. Because once it cools off, then you go back out,
It's the best time
gather
to
the
get some more
horses.
work in.
Yeah. So you guys want to do this when you grow up?
I do. I'm actually going to college in Cheyenne for ranch management, and I'm planning on going and coming back to something like this and keeping on with it.
Working on a ranch?
I really don't know what I want to do when I get older. But even if I don't come back to a ranch, it's taught me a lot of things that are that'll be beneficial to me
Yeah.
wherever I decide to go.
Yeah. About hard work and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like most about it? Living on a ranch or working on a ranch?
There's no people.
Yeah, no people. It's solitary.
Yeah, you can be out in the middle of nowhere where nobody knows where you're at. You don't have to worry about anybody else but yourself. And you don't get claustrophobic.
Yeah, there's no claustrophobia involved.
It's appealing.
Yeah.
It's you and the cows and the
Yeah.
horse.
And your
And
horse.
sometimes a dog.
What don't you like about it? If there's something.
The early mornings. That gets to me during the summer.
After about 2 weeks of getting up at 3 o'clock every morning, you're pretty well wrung out. But
When I first started to wake up when I was 5 or 6, wake up early with Dad and go, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to take a nap. It didn't take me long to figure out that naps was a good idea.
Yeah. They're necessary. I
Yes,
guess.
very.
All right. Anything else interesting you want to tell these guys?
If you get the chance, come out and visit
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
If you ever get an opportunity, it don't have to be this one, but if you get an opportunity to go find yourself a ranch to spend a day on or spend a week on, do it.
It's awesome.
It's a good time.
Good times.
There's not very many people. The only thing that might get you is there's no cell phone service.
Can't play video games on your phone
It's
all
all
day.
right. It's all right. You'll be
anything
working
but
anyway.
boring. It's anything but boring. There's always some sort of excitement going on.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
So, tell me your names.
I'm Amy Prince. I'm Callie Prince, and I'll be a senior this year, and I'll be in 8th grade this year.
Okay. Tell me about what you like most about growing up on a ranch.
Being away from all the, I don't think I could live in a city because it's a lot of noise, a lot of traffic, and I like being out there and then being able to work cows and stuff with Dad. And just having, a lot of space to go do things, be outside and riding horses.
Enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah,
How old were you when you first rode a horse?
probably 3 or 4. Dad would let us ride with him on his horse.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
How long before you were riding on your own?
Probably 5 years old. Yeah.
5 years old?
Yeah. Sometimes he'd lead us behind him, but after that he'd put us on a good horse and we could get along fine.
Tell me about a typical work day. What time you get during the summer? What time you getting up and all that stuff? What are you doing?
For branding, we normally get up at about 3 probably, and then you go and we gather all the cows and then rope the calves and just brand them. That's what we do for quite a bit of the summer. Then it arrives up about 10, 11, 12, and then everyone goes home and you're able to take a nap because by then it gets really hot and it's hard on the guys and the horses and cows if you're working in 100-degree weather. So then when it cools back off in the evenings, I'll go out and check water or something.
What time you finishing up?
In the evenings, probably, I don't know, it depends. Probably about 5 or 6 as they kind of wrap up. But
Okay. What don't you like, I guess?
fencing. Electric fencing is terrible.
Electric fencing is
Yeah.
terrible?
When
How
you
come?
fence off the sloughs for we'll run yearlings or rebreeds in there, and normally it's wet in there, so there's tons of mosquitoes, and it's really, really hot.
And then the cows always break out, and
Yeah,
so
you
then
don't
you have to
just-
go fix it.
You don't just put it up once and leave it. It's kind of
It's a
little bit of
never-ending
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
What else might drive you crazy during the summer with ranching?
Sometimes the early mornings get a little bit old.
Yeah, at
But-
first it's fun and exciting, and
But
then
then
after the first couple weeks, 3 o'clock seems to come earlier.
So a lot of city kids are kind of addicted to their cell phones. I'm guessing you don't have those out here.
I have one, but we don't have
Out on the
hardly
ranch,
any,
yeah.
reception or
So,
anything. So,
do you miss it during the summer or no?
No. No, we're occupied and keep busy.
You're busy doing other stuff.
Yeah,
What else do you like?
definitely the riding horses aspect
Yeah.
of it all is
That's-
that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Riding the horses and everything? What do you want to do when you grow up? Be on a ranch or do something else?
I'm not looking at working on a ranch. Probably like business and photography, but it'd be nice to end up on a ranch maybe eventually. But
yeah,
Okay.
it'd be fun to end up on a ranch, but probably not working on a ranch.
let somebody else work it and you just live there. Okay. All right. Thanks, ladies.
Yeah, thank
Bye.
you.
Okay. Talk loud.
Okay, this is the horse that my son or husband would use, and you can see the saddle. It's a Western saddle. You'll notice that the horn has mule hide on it, so they can rope and dally. And it's okay. So this would just be your normal.
Point out the horn.
Here's the saddle horn with the mule hide on it, and that when they rope, we'll walk around to the other side. You'll see the rope. A right-handed man has his rope on the right side, and they can rope and dally. And then usually they use bell stirrups that fit the cowboy boot a little better. And this is your stirrup, and you like them to fit a cowboy boot. So you need a tennis shoe or a rubber boot. Doesn't work well for us riding horses. And then this is unique in the summer or any time of year. The men carry saddlebags with them, and these medicine bags carry all of the needles and doctoring items that they might need, because we're spread out and they doctor everything in the country. So you'll see unique to this time of year, they might be carrying more of the medicine bags. This is a tie rope, so if they need to tie a calf down while they're in the grass or the country, they have extra ropes with them to do that. Everything else, there's your cinches. You've got a front and a back cinch. And then
Down here, this keeps the saddle on the
yeah.
animal.
Yes. And then they all have saddle blankets, and that keeps the saddle from rubbing sore spots on the horse. It makes the saddle fit a little better.
So a couple of thick blankets there.
Yeah.
Looks like they're made out of wool.
Yep.
And then the saddle sits on top of that.
Yes. So they're just in a halter, and you'll notice down here we've hobbled them so that when the men are working the cattle, they hobble the horses so that they stay put and they don't run off. And some horses are well trained, they won't run off, but some struggle with that.
There's the brand on the horse. 2.
So you'll see the rope here, and they always tie the rope up until they take it down to use it. It's okay. Oh,
He's kind of nervous, huh?
yeah, a little bit jumpy. And the men all use different kinds of ropes. It's all personal style, whatever they like. A lot of our men have a rope that's 50 feet long, because when we are in the country, it's not like calf roping. You need a long rope if you're throwing a long shot, and whether it's in the corral or out in the country, the men have pretty long ropes.
You can see
That's the Hondo.
that allows the rope to slide through.
Yep.
See that big saddle up there? Probably a big piece of wood in there, yeah?
Yep, there's a wood tree under the saddle that is gives all the stability.
I imagine it'd take a while to get accustomed to riding in that all day long.
Yeah.
Get saddle sore.
Yep, and a lot of our men custom order a saddle for that reason. They want a certain size they call that a dish. So they want a certain depth and width of their saddle, and some of them want extra padding in certain spots because they do use them. I've been with my husband 23 years, and I bet he's on his 7th saddle. A lot of saddles he probably puts 20,000 miles on.
Wow.
So it's definitely a mode of transportation. They get worn out.
How much is a new saddle like this?
Anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 probably. Depends on how much tooling you get and how fancy it is. If it's just a rough out like this, it's pretty plain.
Mm-hmm.
It would be probably closer to $3,000, $3,500. More tooling and more detail, it would go up from there.
So you keep referring to the men riding the horse and stuff like that. Are there ladies that work the ranch that ride these all the time?
Yes, the young kids, the girls do, and there's a couple of wives that help. However, most of our wives are mothers, so they're taking care of the kids, taking care of school, taking care of the cooking and the meals. A lot of the wives do bring meals to the crew, including myself. But there are times of the year when a family operation, like on the South Dakota side, that family may all be horseback for a job there. And so the mother and both girls would ride. My girls ride all summer. But when school starts, it's a lot busier, so it's more hectic. But they all have their own saddle. All the girls have a saddle. The boys all have their own saddles, as well as the men. The men probably have one or two. And we have a couple kids' saddles. We've got some little kids that, when it works, the kids ride. And so we've got some small kids' saddles as well. I'll take you to the tack room.
Okay, sounds good. So tell me about the dogs on the ranch. That one was just pushing calves.
Yep, most of the men have a Border Collie Cross dog that they use strictly for working. A lot of them are nice, so they can be pets, but they do keep them for working cattle. They probably take the place of up to 2 men. One dog working or moving cows can do a lot of work that a man doesn't have to. So most of the men train, they raise and train their own dogs. Sometimes we raise pups and sell them, but they're all working cattle dogs, bred for that. So he's directing it with the whistles. JD's whistling at it to know what to do and where to be, and he's got a shock collar. And so this dog is in training, and he can adjust or get its attention if he needs to, but mostly it will listen to his whistles or his word commands.
The dog?
Yes.
And then those collars on the dog.
It's
a little shock collar.
in case he needs to use it.
And he has the device, he can just give him a quick
it's
shock.
a remote around his neck. He can use it if he needs to.
It's a noisy business.
But if you look at this grass down close, you can see how tall the grass is. So this is the grass that can cause havoc with the calves in their eyes.
So that's
See
good.
how tall it is.
Over 2 feet tall, and I poke them right in the eye, huh?
Yes. So that's why we're having trouble with pink eye this year. That's new to me. In 18 years, I don't know that we've fought it quite like we have this year with all this moisture.
So tell them about this extra rain and how it's different.
Yeah, here in eastern Wyoming, we average about 14 inches a year rainfall, so it is a nice grass country. This year we've had 22 inches since January 1st, and 18 of that's been since May 1st. So this grass is awesome, but it's unusual. It's very unusual. We are a grass ranch, so we feed them all year long with our grass. We don't put up hay, but it's abnormally tall and it's a very good year for us, but it's definitely not normal.
Okay.
You'll notice the 6 on their shoulder. That's the year they were born. So that gives you the age. These are heifers. So this is 2018. They're 2-year-olds having their first calf. So there's a 6 up on the hip. And then the 4 with a lazy 3 is our actual ranch brand that we would typically brand our other calves with. These heifers' calves get the 8 so that we can keep them separate from the other older calves.
Okay.